Ken, and this is a very special film that's produced by film producer Kyron Jeffers,
Good
who's
day, good day.
to my extreme left, and Sean Melville, managing director, Ipsum
Hi, good morning,
Technologies.
everybody.
But you don't have to leave my very special Marlon Parejo, who is our blind public speaker, police officer, and one of Grammar Genies, who organized our week for the blind in the month of May for us. She loves you, loves you, loves you. Can't stop talking about you, Marlon. And we all love you because you're like just so amazing. Kyron, tell us about this film.
Basically, the Blind Way Forward is it's meant to be able to assist those who are visually impaired
Yes.
and the families of those who are visually impaired to live the best life they could, to live their best life. So it talks about the assistive technologies you could get,
Yeah.
the different associations, and Marlon also gives a very strong testimony as to how you can overcome the emotional blockages, the psychological blockages associated with visual impairment, especially if you were born with sight and then you have to experience losing your sight, knowing that you have a family to feed, knowing that you may lose your job and whatnot. How do you overcome some of these issues? How do you overcome some of the
So
emotions?
is this a documentary?
It is a documentary,
Yeah.
but it's
So
presented
it's
in a
part
way
of
that's
our
theatrical.
documentary. We're going to be showing it on TTT,
Yes,
of course,
yes,
right?
yes.
Because we live for local. Yeah. So Marlon, you're going to be a star again, even more, right?
I guess so.
So what was the experience like being part of this documentary?
Well, initially, the Blind Way Forward was meant to assist persons with visual impairment to cope and to excel in spite of and because of their visual impairment. We decided to have the film because the support system for the person with the visual impairment has to involve the family as well. What happens is that, as I said before, whilst blindness is a problem, it's not the problem. The real problem is ignorance. And if the family member does not know how to deal with, how to cope with the person with the visual impairment, the whole thing falls apart. So what happens is that the family of the person with the visual impairment needs to see what's happening, what they can do, and they need to understand and know that someone who has a disability, it's not the end of the world.
Right.
It's not like gonna have a guy in a dark hood and a sickle waiting to carry them through the river Styx.
Well, you're certainly testimony to that.
Oh yeah, yes. And what I've noticed is that you have to be pragmatic. At the end of the day, other than divine intervention, I will still be blind. So it makes no sense I blame God and man and beast for my blindness and just curl up in a nice clean corner to die.
Yeah.
But I could just, I decided, listen, I can't help being blind, but I can help how I approach it.
Yeah.
And the film basically shows different persons with vision impairment doing things that people believe is impossible or is incapable
And these
of
are
doing.
persons from Trinidad and Tobago
Of
or around
course,
the world?
and they are
Okay.
they are not actors, they are actually blind. The only
Yeah.
actor there is probably Santana.
Santana. So Santana is in this film.
Yes.
That sounds interesting.
Very interesting.
And you were not born blind, right?
No,
Yeah.
no, I became blind in 2011 because of glaucoma and ignorance.
Yeah.
And after about a depression for about a month, I decided that I want to learn everything that I need to learn about blindness and how to cope and how to overcome. And I learned a lot of things along the way. And I decided, listen, why should a person who's newly blind take 2-3 years to find out all the good things that can happen in spite of blindness? Why can't I just learn it in a half an hour video?
And well, that sounds good.
Yeah.
That sounds good. So we know it's showing on TTT right here, so you have to stay tuned for that. But Sean Melville, you're managing director of Ipsum
Yes.
Technologies. What's the role of Ipsum Technologies in all of this?
So Ipsum Technologies is really a company that focuses on promoting the needs of persons with disabilities. And one of the things that we worked on, of course, is the production of this film because we wanted to raise awareness of the needs of persons who are visually impaired. So Marlon alluded to the fact that when he became blind, he didn't know how to deal with it.
Yeah.
What we did with this film is try to package everything into one 28-minute film that is going to give some information so that they can then understand how to address this problem that they're facing,
Right.
right? So they know where to go, what technologies are available to them, and who basically can support them, and to really to deal with the actual understanding that this is not the end of the world,
Yeah.
that you can, recoup and then go forward, with
Yeah.
confidence that you can actually deal with this particular
So
challenge.
Kyron, we do have a 30-second clip,
Yes, we do.
right? What are we going to see in this clip?
You're going to see an eclectic bunch of people. You're going to hear Marlon's story. You're going to hear a little bit of everyone who was involved, as far as those who are athletic, that visually impaired is not being life impaired, that you can still live a normal life.
All right, so let's check that clip out right now.
Visually impaired does not mean life impaired. Active lifestyles, cricket, horseback riding, judo, powerlifting, athletics, swimming, you name it, it can be done by the visually impaired. This is the blind way forward.
All right. For this film on Sunday, I believe it's Sunday at 7 o'clock. We'll confirm that for you. Or you just have to stay watching TTT. Why change the channel, right? You might as well just stay. But it's on Sunday at 7 o'clock. Of course, we live for local here on TTT. And Kyron Jeffers, film producer, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Is this one of your first films or you've done before?
I've done documentaries before.
Yeah.
This one had actually played in Barbados for the CARIFESTA. I think it was CARIFESTA
This film?
13. Yes.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So it's really great that it's premiering.
It's your
in
TV
Trinidad.
premiere.
This is TV premiere and the
Excellent.
Trinidad and Tobago premiere.
Fantastic. No better place, right, Marlon?
You'll probably meet me in my trailer outside.
Congratulations.
Yeah, one of the things we always joke about is Marlon being a celebrity.
Yes. He said, meet me in this
Marlon
trailer
don't care.
outside. And now hear what you say, Marlon. I hope they have a big star, and I hope it's an 80-foot trailer like Samuel Jackson, you know?
Yes, and some coffee that you can't pronounce.
Oh, it's so wonderful to have you on the program once again. And thank you very much, Sean Melville of Ipsum Technologies, Karen Jeffers,
Thank
film
you.
producer. Do some more work. We have the space
Definitely,
now,
definitely.
right?
We'll be
And-
back with the Learn to Fly Film Club with the youths from Hillview College.
Oh, you're part of that.
I'm the coach.
Oh,
that's my team.
ooh, okay. Well, yes. We're talking all about that, featuring the work of young people right here on TTT.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Marlon. And of course, Marlon Parejo, who
Yes.
I absolutely adore, along with Grandma Jeannie Jonestegard, who can't stop talking about you. Well, that's what we do here. We feature the talent of Trinidad and Tobago on TTT. We live for local. We're going to take in a few messages and come right back. We still have some more action here. It's an action-packed Friday morning here on Now. Back in a moment.